For Chapter 8, we're going to create a bond amortization table. We're gonna go through this a couple different ways. We're gonna learn how to use macros. We're gonna learn how to use payment functions, future value functions, present value functions, and just see how much Excel really can do the work for us. So I'm on page 231 of your textbook. Step 2, set the column width of column A to 0.75 and row 1 to 7.2. Okay, we're going to grab B2 and C2 and we're going to merge and center those. We're also going to make them bold and we're going to type in the words bond details. So B3 to B8, so going down, we're going to type in these headings that are in step 4. Okay. Then in cell C3, we're going to type in the date, which is January 1st, 2012. C4 is going to be $100,000. C5 is 0.1. C6 is 0.12. Okay, we're going to pop back up to C4 and put that into a comma with no decimal points. C5 and 6, we're going to click and drag and highlight them and turn those into percentages. Cell C7 is going to say 5. C8 is 2. Okay, we're going to grab C3 to C8 and we're going to center these so they look a little neater. We're going to take B2 down to C8, really just down to row 8. We're going to give this an outside border. So go into your borders button and choose outside border. We're going to click on just the word bond details and give that one an outside border as well. We're going to auto fit column B, which means we're going to put our mouse right here and double click. And column C, we're going to make it into 12. We're going to start setting up a similar table right below. So B10, C10, merge and center, outside border, bold formatting, and it's going to say bond calculations. Okay. So from B11 to B13, B11 is going to say present value, B12 future value, and B13 payment. In cell C11, we're going to use a function for present value, so equals PV for present value. So it tells us the first thing we need for our present value function is the rate. So PV rate would be found by taking C6 divided by C8. So the effective rate divided by how many payments per year, comma. The next thing we need is the number of periods. So we're going to take C7, which is the life in the years, and multiply it by C8, which is how many payments per year. So that gives us the number of periods, comma. We need to calculate our payment. So we're going to put in a negative. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. C4, which is our face value, times C5, our contract rate, divided by C8, the number of payments per year. We're going to put in our comma. And now it wants our future, our FV there, our future value. So we're going to type in minus C4. Again, I'm going to explain those negatives in just a minute. Put in your ending parenthesis and press enter. Now, we put in those negative numbers, and this kind of confused me too until I read the description. A negative sign is placed in front of C4 because the interest payments represent cash outflows. Okay, So that's why we have those negative signs in there, because they represent cash leaving us. Now our future value is going to actually start with a negative sign, negative FV for future value. Again, we need our rate, so C6 divided by C8. Our number of periods, so C7 times C8. Our payment, so we're going to put in negative C4 times C5 divided by C8, just like we did in the last one. And then our present value can be found in cell C11. Okay, and then press enter. I'm going to show you a different way to get to the formula for the payment. If we come up here and click on the word formulas and go into insert function, right here where we can select categories, there is a financial category. Okay, and this might be something you're going to use a lot. You know, oh, I need it to, you know, I need to create a future value schedule, or, you know, I needed to find different prices, different yields, different payments, different rates. Okay. Those are all in here. So from here, we're going to choose PMT, payment. Calculates the payment for a loan based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. And there is one in here, I think, and I can't remember which function it is that does it if the interest rate changes. Like you can set it to change the interest rate every year. Okay, so go ahead and click on PMT and click OK. Our rate, we know, is C6 divided by C8. Our number of payments is C7 times C8. Present value is found in C11. Future value, we're going to put a negative there, is found in C4. And press enter. And you'll see that it's a negative sign, right? So we want to fix that. We're going to come up here to right before the P in payment and put in a negative. There we go. Now we've got a positive payment. It wants us to apply the accounting number format to the range C11 to C13. And you'll notice that it's already done for us, right? It already put in the $ in the decimal places because that's how the function is set up. The function is set up to automatically be accounting. So we don't need to do that step, but we do need to put an outside border. So go to B10 and drag straight down, home, and we're going to stick an outside border around that box. Now we're going to grab column D and column G and change the column width to 15, it says. Okay, so we're going to make those a little bit bigger. Step 24 on page 232, we're going to cell B15. Highlight the range B15 to G15. Apply an outside border. Add bold formatting. Set the wrap text option and center align it. Okay, so now all of these cells have the formatting on them. In cell B15, we're typing in the word date, and we're just going to keep moving to the right. Interest payment. Interest expense, amortization of bond discount, oops, that one was supposed to be bond discount balance, and carrying value. Okay. In cell B16, we're going to type in the date of January 1st, 2012. And then we're going to go straight down that row. We're going to go 6/30/2012 and 12/31/2012. Okay. Now, this is a really neat feature of Excel. If you click on B17 and drag to B18, you can put your mouse in the bottom right-hand corner and click and drag down, and it will automatically fill in the cells for us. Now we want to go down to B26 to December 31st, 2016, because remember our textbook was set that the current year is 2017. Okay, in cell B27, we're going to type in the word totals. Now, when you have a date, your dates are automatically aligned on the right-hand side. When you have text, it automatically aligns on the left. So we're going to come up here and right align our date. Okay, now coming over here to F16. You'll notice if you look at the dates, this is the only one that starts at the beginning of the year. Everything else is June and December because we make our payments in June and December. So this first line, these first three squares are going to be empty because we're setting up the data for our loan, or I'm sorry, for our bond. Okay, so we're going to start in cell F16. And in cell F16, we want to take C12, which is our future value of our bond, and we're going to subtract C11, which is our present value. Okay. And then our carrying value is the present value of our bond, so equals C11. Top of page 233, go into cell C17. Okay, C17 is asking us for our interest payment, okay, which we've already calculated right here, so equals C13. We want to put in an F4 on that one. We want those dollar signs on there, so it should be equals $C, $13. Press tab. Here we're going to put equals G16. We're trying to find our interest expense. So we're going to take our carrying value times $C6 divided by $C, $8. Okay, and push your tab key. So this just took our carrying value multiplied by our effective rate divided by our payments per year. To calculate our amortization in cell E7, we're going to take D17, which is our interest expense, minus our C17, which is our interest payment. In F17, we're going to put in F16, which is our bond discount balance from before, minus E17, minus our amortization account. And then our carrying value is going to be G16, which is our current carrying value, plus E17, which is our amortization. Okay. So now we know that Excel does most of the work for us, so we can go to C17 to G17, double click it, and it fills it straight down. Now, the problem when you do that, when you double click it as opposed to clicking and dragging it, is it fills it all the way down. We don't want this in the total, so we can go through and take that out. So from C27 to E27, just grabbing those three, we're going to go up to our formula bar. Actually, we can go right here where it says auto sum and click on it, and it'll automatically add those up. We're also going to go over here to our borders while those are still highlighted and give them a top and bottom border. We want a top and double bottom border. It wants us to apply the accounting number format to the range, and as you can see, that's already completed. If you look right here, amortization of bond discount, our column E, we have all these number signs. That's because we can't quite see it. So I'm going to go ahead and double click here and make that a little bit bigger. Turning over to page 235, and again, you stop the video, read the stuff in the middle so you understand what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. We're going to work with some protections, okay? We can protect our workbooks, we can protect our sheets, we can even protect specific cells so that people using them, looking at them, reading them, can't change them, okay? So here at the top, we're going to use this Review tab. So go to Review, and in this Changes section is where we can protect things. We're going to first click on Protect Workbook, and this protects the entire workbook. Every sheet that's in it, every cell that's in it, it protects the whole thing. Okay. We're going to make sure that there's a check mark in the structure box, and our password is going to be amortization. And click OK, and then you're going to have to type it in again. just to make sure you typed it right the first time, so you can click OK on that one. Now, if you come down and double click on the Sheet 1 tab, like you want to change something, it's going to tell you that it cannot. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take that protection off. So click on Protect Workbook again. So if somebody were to use this workbook and they don't know that password, they can click on Protect Workbook as much as they want, and they're not going to be able to do it unless they know what password you set it to. Okay, so this is where you're going to find Protect Workbook. Right here it says Protect Sheet, but I'm going to show you another way to get to this. If you go back to your Home tab, in the Cells section there's a Format button. And in here is also a Protect Sheet button. So we can click on that one. We want to make sure that there's a check mark here where it says Protect Worksheet and Contents of Locked Cells, a check mark in the Select Locked Cell, and a check mark in the Select Unlocked Cell. Okay. We also want to put a check mark where it says Format Cells. And we're going to type in Bond as our password for this one. And we're going to confirm it. So now if we were to right click on anything on the column D header, you can see that these are all grayed out because it's not going to let us change those things. Okay. We're going to go to cell C17 where our number is. And click on your Insert tab, and you can see these things are also grayed out. Okay, it's not going to let us change anything on this sheet. However, if we come up here and go to where am I going? B27 to E27, so our total row, and we make it bold, it will let us do that. Okay. And it's all based on what we put check marks in and took check marks out of in the box when we protected it. We're going to go back to this review section and unprotect our sheet. Type in our password, which was Bond. The thing about Excel is there is no forgot password button. So if you forgot what the password was, you have lost access to all of that data. So make sure that you're writing them down or that they're things that you're going to remember and know. Okay, because you cannot retrieve those passwords. You've just lost your data and have to start over. On page 238, now we're going to look at protecting specific cells. Okay, not so much the entire workbook or the entire sheet, but cells specifically. So we're going to go up here to C3 to C8. And also we're going to choose, holding down your control key, we're going to pick B16 to G27. So this whole thing down here. And go to Home. In the Cells section, go to Format and click Lock Cell down here at the bottom. And you'll see you have all these little green things just popped up in the corners. If you put your mouse on them, it'll tell you. Unprotected formula. They were all locked before, so we just unlocked them. So these formulas can be changed. We're going to highlight C11 to C13. Right click and go to Format Cells. Go up here to the Protection tab and click Hidden. And then click OK. Now what we've done, actually nothing yet. If we go to Review, one more step, sorry about that, Changes. We want to protect the sheet. This time we're going to use Interest as the password. Oh, apparently I did not type them correctly. There we go. And now if we click on these cells and we look in our formula bar, we can't see what formulas were used for those cells. Okay, so we've hidden those formulas from view. Now if we go up here to E2 and we type something, it's going to tell us no, it's a protected sheet, you can't change it. If we come down here to where the sheet name is, we can rename it. We're going to rename it bond schedule. Okay. The worksheet itself, everything on the grid is protected because we protected the sheet, but we did not protect the workbook, so that tab is able to be edited. Okay, the next section is talking about macros. A macro is kind of like a mini program that you can put into Excel. I'm pretty sure everything in Office has a macro that you can create. Okay. Please take a few minutes to read the information in the macro section of your textbook. Because this is one of those concepts that you're going to understand it better if you read it before you actually play with it. I'm going to go ahead and move on. So on page 241, still using the exact same file. I'm trying to see if we ever unprotected our sheets from before. I guess we did not. Let's go ahead and unprotect our sheets. Oh, nope, don't do that yet. We're going to do that later. So what we're going to do here is we need to check one of our settings. So go down to File and Options. Now, I am working on a computer. Right here, you're going to go to Trust Center. I'm working on a computer that was loaned to me from the school district I teach at. So my settings are a little different than everybody else's. So you're going to go here where it says Trust Center Settings. We want to, on the left-hand side, we're going to go to where it says Macro Settings. And we want to disable all macros with notifications. You want to make sure this one has a dot to it. Okay. And then you're going to click OK on this box and OK on the next one. Mine is going to give me an error message, and that's just because there's certain things about this computer that are protected because of the school district. So the next step we're going to go to is over here on cell C16 to G27. Now, when I first did this, I was like, you want me to what? They want us to delete all of that data that we just put in there. And let me just go ahead and go with the flow and push delete because they want to show you how these macros work. Okay. Up here on your ribbon, you're going to click on the word View. And over here on the right, there's a word that says macros. So click on the word macro, and we're going to record a new macro. We get a box to pop up in order to name it, and we're going to name it amortization underscore schedule, and click OK. So we're going to start in cell F16. And all I'm doing is following the steps in the book, and I'm just recreating what we've already created in the past. So I'm typing in equals C12 minus C11, pressing tab, equals C11, enter. So now I'm going to go to C17, and it's going to say equals $C, $13, tab, equals G16, times, $C, $6 divided by $C, $8, tab, equals D17 minus C17, tab, equals F16 minus E17, tab, equals G16 minus E17. Enter. Then we're going to highlight C17 to G17. We're going to click and drag it down to 26. Go to C27 equals sum of, I'm just going to click and drag on these and press enter and drag this straight over. Okay, so we've recreated this table. So come back over here to the macros and click stop recording. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing again, kind of. We're going to come in here and delete this. So we have created a macro. We've created a mini program to fill this table in for us. Okay, so click on the macros button and click on view macros, amortization schedule, and run. And it fills the table in for us. Now you're thinking, I already did all that work. twice, why would I need the macro to do it for me again? Think about a large company that has hundreds of bonds, okay? So where we have this one bond schedule, they have hundreds of these tabs in the same workbook. So they can just click on the tab and run the macro and it'll automatically do it for them. So they don't have to keep typing in all the equations, okay? Now, here's another really cool feature. So we're gonna come up to review and unprotect our sheet. And again, our password was interest. And we're gonna scroll up to the top. We're gonna go to insert. You should have a button that says shapes. We're gonna grab this very first one, which is a text box. And we're just gonna create a little box right there. And in that, we're going to type in populate schedule. We're gonna make it bold and 16, because that's what it told me to. And you can change the size of your box or whatever you want to do with it. You can center it, you can make it different colors, whatever you want to do with it. Now that I have this box, I'm going to right click on the box and go to Assign Macro. Click on Amortization Schedule, click OK. Okay. So we're going to come down here and delete this one more time. Click on the Populate Schedule button. And ta-da! It populated that schedule for you. Okay. Okay. Now, when we save this, we're going to go to File, Save As, and we're going to navigate to where we want to save it. Right here where it says Excel Workbook, if we click there, there's one that says Excel Macro Enabled Workbook. So you do need to change your file type when you're saving these. Okay, you do need to change your file type, otherwise it won't save it correctly. Okay, you may go ahead and move on to your assignments. Have a great week.